Hi friends, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much for coming back if you've been here before. Today we are going to do a pick a card reading, and this pick a card reading is going to be who is your spirit guide and what messages does this guide have for you. So this is going to be a pretty detailed reading. We're going to go into purpose, how to connect to this guide, much more. So make sure you check out the reading breakdown. But as always, we have three options. Option number one is going to be the Magician card from the Find Your Magic Tarot. Option number two is the Magician card from the Lightworker Tarot. And option number three is the Magician card, which has Goddess Hecate on there from the Mythos Tarot deck. So pause the video if you need to. Ask yourself which pile, or maybe piles, have a message for you, and let's jump into the reading breakdown. For this reading, I want to get as much information as possible. So we are going to start the reading by looking at your current energy, what's happening for you currently, what's going on with you. That will let you know if this reading is meant for you, if you have picked the right pile. We are then going to move into who is your spirit guide, and I'm going to try to get as much information as possible. So for this reading, there's a lot of different people watching. So of course, take what resonates, but we are going to get to the root of who is the spirit guide. We will then move into what your relationship with the spirit guide is. Then we will look at how you can deepen your connection to this guide, followed by something your guide wants you to work on or focus on at this time. Then going into something that your guide is going to be blessing you with. So a blessing your guide is sending your way. We are then going to go into your purpose and how this guide is getting you closer to your purpose. And we are going to end the reading with some advice. So if this sounds like something you want to know more about, or a reading that is in alignment with what you are looking for, stay tuned. If this is where you leave me, I hope you come back soon. But let's jump into the reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Magician from the Find Your Magic Oracle. I'm sorry, I was going to say Oracle Tarot deck. So as a reminder, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I did do a reading breakdown, and I highly suggest you check that out, because this is going to be a little bit of a longer reading, and I wouldn't want you to sit through this and realize that you are just, this isn't what you're looking for. So check that out. It is going to be timestamped in the description and also in the comments below. But we are going to kick off the reading by looking at your current energy, what is happening, currently for you. So if this part of the reading doesn't sound like where you are currently at, it could be that this is not your pile. Try a different pile. If that doesn't resonate, it could just be that this isn't the reading for you, which is okay. But let's get started. Let's look at current energy for my pile number ones. Elephant, the puppet, and listen. Okay, so pile number one. Let's start with the signs here, because I do know that you all love it when you get the astrological signs. We do have fire energy. The elephant is part of the fire element for this deck. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius being represented. We have the puppet, which to me is very earth energy. Actually, that could be earth or air. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, air. With listen, it's air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So we have a little bit of everything really coming up here. But let's talk about, and I just broke something. 1 second. Sorry about that, pile number one. I actually dropped, I didn't drop it because I wasn't touching anything. My hands were like behind the camera, but my obsidian snake just dropped. It didn't break, but it looks like it did chip. So some of you, snake energy could be coming up. This could be a time of transformation, but let's talk about what is going on. So your current energy is being represented by the elephant, and the elephant is really an auspicious sign, symbol, animal to have cross your path. When we think of the elephant, we think of Lord Ganesha. So for some of you, there could be a connection there. But the elephant is also all about wisdom. And the elephant is great when it comes to moving through obstacles. So for my pile number ones, you could be going through a period where you are dealing with obstacles and you are quite determined to come out on the other side of that. There is an energy here of feeling more trusting towards yourself and towards the universe at this time. And I think that my pile number ones are really trying to lean into. I want to trust. I want to connect with my higher self, with spirit guides, with the universe itself. I do feel for this group, it could be like for some people, sometimes you run across a reading because it's just suggested for you on YouTube. I would not be surprised if you were specifically looking for a spirit guide reading or a reading that would connect you to spirit, the universe, higher self. But for my pile number ones right now, there's a lot of just trying to find the right direction and trying to connect to spirit in general. Whatever it is that you believe in, that is what you're trying to connect with. For some of you, it could be trying to connect to a higher power. For others of you, this could be I'm trying to connect to a spirit guide. For others of you, it could be higher self. For others of you, it could be just the universe in general. But there is this energy of I am asking for guidance, I am asking for help, and I am open to receiving it. My pile number ones are currently wanting to break free from something. I'm trying to break free. I'm trying to move past the obstacles that exist within my life. And I think that this is a pile where you are not afraid to pave the way, even if that means burning a bridge, even if that means destroying something on the path there. There's this call to action. There's this call to moving forward that is very, very strong right now for my pile number ones, where I am not going to be where I am at. I'm not going to stay trapped here. I am not going to stay blocked in. So I am going to do whatever it takes in order to create forward movement. And I think that for my pile number ones, you are working with the energy of realizing that what you thought was fated or what you thought was out of your control is actually not. There's a lot of autonomy here. There's a lot of empowerment here of I am realizing that I am the co-creator, that I get to choose my experiences and that I get to move towards what I want to move to. And I'm moving past feeling stuck. And in order to do that, I'm trying to listen to my inner guidance. I'm trying to listen to my intuition. I'm trying to listen to my spirit team. But regardless, there's a big energy here of no matter what, I am breaking free and I'm moving out of this energy. I am not going to remain stuck. I am not going to remain because for some of you, I think there's a level of feeling disempowered, of feeling stuck and feeling like, because we have the puppet card here. And it may feel like at times it almost doesn't feel like I have a say. At times it doesn't feel like I can be the best version of myself and I can do what I need to do in order to get to where I want to be. So it feels almost like life is happening to me, or it has felt that way. But I think for my pile number ones, it's reaching a point where I'm now realizing that I'm not powerless. I'm now realizing that I am not the victim of the circumstances, right? I am realizing that I get to choose, that I get to act upon what it is that I want. And there's almost this determination here that is really coming through for you, pile number one, where it's no matter what, I'm not just going to sit here and allow the things that I don't want to continue to dictate what's going to happen in my life. So your current state is you're dealing with some things that may have you feeling stuck, and there are some obstacles, but there are two things that are happening right now. One is you're looking for that guidance. You're looking for connection to spirit, to higher self. And two, you are breaking free. You are choosing that you are not going to sit around and allow these things to continue the way that they are. It's I get to choose what I am going to experience, and I don't want any of this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make change in my life. I am going to create change, and I am breaking free. With that puppet card, it's making me think of the Devil Tarot card. I am breaking free. I am realizing that what I thought was keeping me trapped was just an illusion. So I am going to do whatever I need to do in order to create more abundance. And as a result, pile number one, there is a lot of spiritual help coming in, and there's abundance here. As I said, the elephant is a very auspicious sign, and to me, this speaks to incoming prosperity. But let's talk about who your guide is. So for this part of the reading, we are going to get as much information for you as possible. For some of you, everything is going to resonate. For others of you, some of it is going to resonate. So take what resonates as far as who your guide is. First, we have Archangel Megatron with spiritual power, esoteric wisdom, sacred geometry. We have Archangel Jophiel with joy, radiance, and inspiration. We have patience. The number 7 feels very significant for this group, so you could be seeing 777. The number 7 is also about introspection, and it can be a very spiritual number. Let's see what else we have. The Sun. Talk about slippery fingers. The Sun. It's very interesting how these cards are lining up. Then we have, oh, forgot I had this one in here, Eagle. Goodness. Storyteller, Omen Reader. Then we have Soul, Talents, and Skills. And finally, we have Gatekeeper, Divine Timing. So, who is your guide? I am going to give you as much information as possible. Again, for this section, take what resonates. I want to call out the obvious. For some of you, your guide is an angel. Your guide, it could be an archangel. Obviously, we have two very popular, significant archangels on the board. And we have Archangel Megatron and we have Archangel Jophiel. For some of you, this is going to be part of your spirit guide at this time. This is one of the beings that is guiding you at this time. For others of you, if that doesn't resonate, don't take it. But let's talk about who your spirit guide is. If you resonate with Archangel Megatron, and I think quite a few of you will, Archangel Megatron is very closely related to sacred geometry and like the Merkaba. So for those of you that resonate with Archangel Megatron, that could be some information there. And I think that this group does have a good amount of wisdom at their, almost like at their fingertips at this time. There's a lot of wisdom coming through. The elephant also speaks to wisdom. With Archangel Jophiel, a lot of joy, a lot of illumination, a lot of inspiration and radiance. For some of you, I do think that you are already working with one of these two, and they're coming up as confirmation. Now, I want to talk about the guides that are not as obvious. First of all, we also have the eagle here. So for some of you, you do have the eagle as a spirit animal, and the eagle as a spirit animal can speak to, you know, your perspective, taking a step back and seeing the bigger picture. Again, there's a lot of wisdom coming through here, and you could be seeking truth right now, and the eagle could very well be helping you find truth and find what your truth is. With the eagle and Archangel Jophiel being here, they both have a message of radiance, illumination. For my pile number ones, your current spirit guide, regardless of who the spirit guide is here to help you tap into your wisdom. This spirit guide is also here to illuminate a truth, to illuminate something that you cannot see clearly. For some of you, in order to receive this message, you have to take a step back, because what's happening here, it feels like you are very closely very close to the situation, which duh, of course, because you are the one going through it. But who is this spirit guide? So for some of you, I am getting a spirit guide that was a mentor to you in a past life. For those of you that don't believe in past lives, take it as it resonates. But for those of you that do believe in past lives, I do believe there is a mentor coming in from a past life. And this guide feels very closely related to your beliefs, to the stories that you tell yourself. And that's why we have the storytelling. So pile number 1, what are the stories that you tell yourself about why certain things unfold the way that they do, about what is happening to you and what's going to happen to you? How do you limit yourself, and how do you keep yourself perhaps in a prison? And how do you limit yourself by time? Because I'm hearing TikTok, not as in the app, but as in time passing. And I think for some of my pile number 1s, you may feel at times like you are not where you are meant to be, or that you are falling behind. And something that this guide is coming through with is a question of, whose timeline are you following, and how is this limiting you instead of pushing you forward? This guide that is here for you, for most of you, this is a female guide. This guide feels very wise. Again, for some of you, if you believe in past lives, this guide at some point was a mentor to you. This is a soulmate connection. So this is somebody who is a part of your soul family. For those of you that also resonate with one of the archangels as being a guide, there are 2 guides here. There's a very close guide that is part of your soul family, and one of the archangels, or even the eagle, could also be a guide. But I want to emphasize, even for those of you that, the eagle is the guide, or the Archangel Megatron, or Archangel Jophiel, there is also another guide that is not one of those energies that is coming through. And this guide is really here to help you find your happiness. This guide does serve as a gatekeeper, meaning that this guide can filter in what reaches you. And this guide makes sure that you are ready to receive the information that is trying to come in for you at any given time. Again, this guide is really here to guide you when it comes to where you think you should be and the stories that you tell yourself, especially when it comes to limiting beliefs. And I feel that this guide is also working with you to help you on your purpose. This feels like a long-term guide for most of you, meaning that this is a spirit guide that has probably been with you for a very long time and will continue to be with you. Even if they're not always active, it feels like this is somebody who is around you and able to support you. For some of you with the patience card, this guide could be very well pretty much teaching you patience. I also think that this guide becomes more active when you are going through a personal season of a winter. And what do I mean by that? When we go through a winter, whether it's winter, which as I'm recording this, it actually is winter where I'm at, or a personal winter, it's when it's time to introspect, when it's time to go within, when it's time to allow certain things to come to an end, so that when spring comes, or our internal spring comes, we can then plant new seeds. This really feels like this guide becomes active when it's time for you to figure out what's next, and when you are in a place of transition, when you are in a place of internal work and growth. This guide does communicate with you. This guide is really helping you with your spiritual gifts. For some of you, you're clairsentient. For others of you, you could even be a medium. I really think for this group, you can quite easily communicate with spirit, though sometimes you may doubt yourself. This guide feels like a very supportive energy around you. This almost feels like a very nurturing type of guide. Like this guide comes in and nurtures you, but don't get it twisted. This guide also wants you to do the work, and this guide supports you while you do the hard work. I'm seeing a G name, seeing N. For some of you, you already know your guide's name. For others of you, this guide is going to be very active until you get to the next step of your journey. There's a new beginning coming in. There is something that you're going to be starting. This guide will see you through that beginning. This guide communicates with you through words. So if you get words, if you get messages, if something pops out at you where it feels like there's somebody sending you messages, but it's like words. It could even be like you're talking to someone and they seem to give you an answer. Or like if you open a book and you notice certain words. If you are a card reader, there's something about this guide really communicates through words. This guide sends messages to you, sometimes through song. Like you may notice something in a song that feels like it's talking to you, or you may be listening to like a movie, a TV show, a podcast, and it feels like something speaks to you that gives you the answer that you were looking for. This is this guide sending this in. This guide is also showing me the lotus flower. You are the lotus. You are coming out of a very difficult period. The elephant was already talking about that. So if you are going through obstacles, if you are dealing with setbacks, just know that this guide is going to help you come out on the other side of that. There's a rebirth coming here. And for some of you, this rebirth is really going to lead you to a new beginning that aligns you further on your path, further to your purpose. For some of you, there is a skill that this guide is helping you with, and I feel like for many of you, that skill has to do with a spiritual gift. It could be helping you develop your spiritual gift. There's a lot of wisdom. We talked about that. For some of you, you may be learning astrology, or you may be looking deeper into your astrological chart. If you are, you will find what you are looking for. For others of you, you could be a card reader, and if you have been pulling cards, this guide is coming through and saying you are receiving the messages as you are supposed to. For some of you, this guide is sending feathers, or you are seeing more birds than usual. I'm not talking about like the same amount of birds that you see every single time, but like if you're seeing more birds, or if you're noticing like more feathers, this is part of this guide communicating with you, giving you support. This guide is very protective of your energy. I'm hearing yes. If you had a question, yes. If you were going to do something, there's a yes here for something. Take that if you know what it's about. Do not force it if you don't. Let's keep going here. So pile number 1. Let's look at your relationship to your spirit guide. What is your relationship to this guide? 8 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles. King of Wands. Yeah, this guide is helping you break through. And we have soul skills, soul talents and skills, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles really is the card of like, I am going to develop my skills. I am going to expand and grow, and I am going to perfect my skills and my talents. And this is your guide. This guide is here to help you with this. This guide is here to help you with like step by step. This is not a guide that comes in to like help you speed through. This is a guide that helps you when you need that help, but this guide helps you take your time and really truly learn the lesson and learn what it is that you are dealing with. This guide brings more balance into your life, and part of this relationship that you have with this guide is to help you bring in more balance. For some of you, what you are learning is to have more patience. And as I said, this guide is really here to put you on your path, to your purpose, to your dharma. Like, this guide is here to really give you a boost and help you gain that boost. So it feels like, again, for many of you, this is a guide that has been with you lifelong, like your lifelong journey guide, and they become very active when it's time for you to level up. I don't know why. I'm seeing like Mario, like, oh my God. What's it called? Mario 64. That's gonna age me right there. But I remember Mario 64. I think Mario Kart is something now. But Mario from the game. That's what I'm seeing. And when he, like, forgive me, I have not played this in a very long time. But like, what I remember was like he would jump and then he would like have to jump on, like, what was it, like a mushroom? That's kind of what I'm seeing. I don't know how to explain why, but that's what's coming through. Like, this guide is here to help you level up. But this guide is like, I'm not going to give you the wings to fly and skip through this. I'm going to hold your hand and I am going to make sure that you make it on the other side. But one thing this guide is saying is that part of this relationship is you going through the lesson, going through the experience once. Like, pile number 1, you are the person that you go through this once, you learn it, you apply it, so that you don't have to be back at square one in like 2 weeks or like 2 years. This feels like I take my time. So for those of you that feel like it takes me longer to do things than other people, or I feel like I'm slightly behind, just know that your experience is to do it, learn it, gain the wisdom from it so that you don't have to repeat it. And for some people, it may seem like they skip through things really fast, but the thing is they don't always fully learn it and then they have to come back to the same lesson. So it feels like if we were talking about like a book, right, where you were learning and you were moving on one lesson to the next, you are someone where you are fully reading the chapter, fully taking that test, understanding it, passing it, and you're moving to the next chapter. Whereas some people may skim through it, take the test, get lucky, and pass. And by the time they get to chapter number 2, they got to go back to chapter number 1 because they missed something. I don't know why that analogy is coming through, but that's what's coming through. But your relationship with this guide is one of empowerment. It's one of learning, taking your time, developing, and using what you learn to get to the next step. So I do feel for many of you, this is a lifelong guide that really becomes active every so often in your life. Let's take a look at how can you deepen your connection to this guide. So how can you deepen your connection to this guide? The 3 of Swords, 10 of Wands. Okay, wow, okay. So first things first. This to me confirms what I've been saying. This is a guide that is around you, but this is also a guide that becomes more active as you need this guide. Like, this is a guide where, like, they are around you, they are a gatekeeper, they watch over you, but they're not always fully active in your life until you need them. So in order to deepen your connection to this guide, it's accepting when you need this help and asking for the help. And I think for some of you, and we're going to get to that in a little bit, you really could like actively work with this guide and get to know this guide at like to the level of like, I know the name. And I think for some of you, you already know the name. But with the 3 of Swords being here as to how to deepen your connection to this guide, feel your feelings, feel into it, allow the emotions to come up. Especially when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you are feeling heartbroken, when you are feeling sad, when you are grieving, when you are going through your healing process, that is when you have the ability to connect to this guide so much easier, because that's when this guide is naturally more active, because this is somebody who is here to really support you through your difficult moments. So being able to sit where you are and allow yourself to be where you are at is super important in connecting with this guide. Also, I think with the 10 of Wands being here, understanding your patterns and your cycles, and understanding when to recognize when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you are taking on too much, and when you need a break. This is the guide that really steps forward whenever you say, hey, I need help. This guide is going to say, how can I help you? What can I do? And that's how you deepen your connection to this guide. I also think with the 10 of Wands being here, really asking for, because we have the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, asking for the help, asking for identifying what you need help with, identifying where you have too much to carry, where you are taking on too much. So for example, if this is, I'm feeling overwhelmed because I'm trying to do everything myself, calling in on this guide and saying, you know what, I need help. And this is what I have identified that I need to work on, or I need help. And these are the emotions that are coming up. And this is how I've identified or what I've identified I need help in working with when it comes to my emotions. But also really being conscious about your feelings and your narrative and the stories you tell yourself. And being conscious about how much you have on your plate at any given moment. Because this guide is going to come through and say, all right, what do we need to release? What do we need to do? How do we make more space? Like, this guide is going to come through and really help you there. There's something very protective about this guide, something very loving about this guide that comes through here. Let's keep going. So, what is something that your guide wants you to work on? What is one thing that this guide wants you to work on at this time or focus on? 2 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. Okay. So first things first, I want to start with the 4 of Pentacles because that's at the center there, and that feels like that really wants some time and attention. So with the 4 of Pentacles being here, your guide really wants you to work on surrender. And your guide really wants you to take a look at in what areas, or area, right? Area or areas, depending, plural, could be singular, plural. Are you trying to control the outcome? And here's the thing. Pile number 1, you can control yourself. You can control your reaction. You can control your response to something. What you cannot control is what other people are doing or what's happening around you outside of you. So your guide is really asking you to focus on, first of all, being where you are at and recognizing exactly where it is that you are. Instead of trying to, Instead of trying to force something to be something that it's not, being able to sit exactly where it is that you're currently at. Whether it's I'm currently struggling with connection because we have the 2 of Cups here, or I'm currently struggling with removing a certain obstacle because I want to do something and I'm struggling to get there. Instead of feeling like you have to make it happen and you can will it to happen, it's realizing this is where I'm at, and unfortunately, I may not be able to control things outside of myself. This is also your guide really asking you to focus on what your outlook is and what story you are giving to the things that are happening in your life at this point in time. It's time to be honest. It's time to see things for what they are. This is really just like, instead of trying to assign a story, instead of trying to assign something bigger than what it is, get down to the basics. It is what it is. This is what's in front of me, and this is what I'm dealing with. So, for example, for some of you, if you are dealing with, if this is about a relationship or this involves another person, instead of saying like this person is doing X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z when you really don't know, it's this person is showing me this behavior and I'm going to take this behavior and this is all I know to be true. If this is about I'm trying to create something and it's not happening, maybe it's not happening because it's not meant for me. This is saying just be very careful about the stories that you are assigning to what is happening around you. So instead of trying to give it more of a narrative than what you actually have available to you that you can verify as fact, sitting with this is what's going on, this is what I can see. Being honest with yourself and seeing things for what they are super important at this time. Also, creating connection to yourself. Creating a connection to yourself where you learn how to build more trust within yourself. Because I think that for my pile number ones, you are so wise. You are so spiritually gifted, but sometimes you tend to doubt yourself and you tend to think worst case scenario. So I would not be surprised if this is a group where it's glass half empty instead of glass half full. And some of you may say, you know what, I'm just a realist. That's fine. Any of those three are fine. You can be glass half empty, glass half full, or you can be a realist. The thing is, don't add to the narrative. Just allow it to be what it is and be careful of the story that you are implicating to the circumstances around you, to the experiences that are happening for you. And there's a message here around building trust, self-trust, and trust in the universe. For some of you, there may be a storyline of like, no matter what I do, I'm not going to get ahead, or like life is happening to me, not for me. Or there's something here about like life throwing obstacles your way and you feel like it's purposeful, or you feel like it's meant to slow you down. And this guide is almost saying, what if that isn't the case? Because here's the thing, pile number one, you don't give up. You are an absolute badass. You do not give up. And I don't want to romanticize like, oh, you're going through the struggle, like, no, because it's hard and you shouldn't have to. But unfortunately, sometimes life isn't fair, and sometimes we have to go through situations that we do not deserve, that we did not create. Sometimes we have to face obstacles. And I think for this group, something that is a big focus is feeling more safe and secure, but also more connection. Let's look at what your guide is blessing you with. I want to see what blessing this guide is sending your way. We have the Star. Okay, I love that. And we have the Knight of Cups. First of all, your guide is saying there is a wish. There is something that you're trying to manifest. There's something that you're trying to create. This is a wish, a dream, a desire, a goal. This is something that you have wished upon a star. This is something that you have, like, you've asked for it. You've been working towards it. That has been guaranteed. That wish has been granted. That wish is coming your way. That is part of what this guide is blessing you with. This guide is also blessing you with a lot of healing so that that wish can come through. And there's a message here around, I want to be very mindful of how I word this, because I know this is going to be taken. Again, I am not romanticizing a struggle. I'm not trying to do any of that, because listen, I don't like struggles either myself. So I'm not trying to be the person to be like, oh my God, this is so great. Like, you get to struggle, but like, yeah, that's not what we're doing. Screw that. We're not doing any of that. But this almost feels like there is something that you have asked for. There is something that is being granted to you. And with the Knight of Cups, this almost feels magical. Like, this feels like something that maybe you've asked for, but deep down inside, you may not think it's even possible. So this could be like, I'm asking for a healthy relationship where I can find somebody who is my equal, somebody who I could build something with. This could be like my dream is to be a artist or to share my message with the world. This could be anything artistic, anything creative. This could be really anything. But whatever this wish, this desire is, it feels like you've placed it, but you go for it. But at the same time, there's a part of you that doesn't truly believe it can happen. And part of what this guide is blessing you with is that wish come true, but also with the help and the assistance in changing the beliefs so that when this shows up, you can accept it. So that when this shows up, you don't bypass it because you think it's too good to be true. So that you can hold space to receive what it is that you asked for and do it in a way that your fear doesn't make you turn away from it, that your doubts doesn't make you like not take the opportunity. So the blessing here is twofold. One, your wish has been granted. Whatever it is that you asked for. And if you pick this pile, I think you know what this is. That's been granted. That's coming in. The second blessing is being able to connect to your inner magician, to your inner believer, to your inner dreamer, to realize that two things are true. One, this thing can happen and you can receive it in the way that you asked for, or even better. And two, you've deserved it. It's not going to be taken from you, because I feel like almost for some of you, there may be like, I'll receive it, but I'm going to be holding on so tightly, that Four of Pentacles. I am going to be so nervous that it's taken away from me, that if it comes in, you may not enjoy it to its full potential. And that's why what you are learning, what you are experiencing is autonomy, empowerment, and almost a believe in miracles. That's what I'm getting. It's like believing in miracles. For this group, I think you've been someone where it's like seeing is believing. And I think that what you're moving towards is believing is seeing. Like, I am going to receive this amazing thing, and I am going to know that I don't need to earn it. I don't need to fight for it. I don't need to prove that I'm worthy of it, because it's already been given to me. Let's take a look at your purpose. Let's talk about your purpose. Now, obviously, this isn't going to cover all of your purpose, but it is going to cover some of it and what's going on and how your purpose, this part of your purpose, relates to this guide. So, yeah, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups. Okay. The Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords. Okay. Pile number 1. Your purpose is to live out your dream. Your purpose, like most people's purpose, and when I speak of purpose, I don't like to speak of purpose in the sense of like career, right? Because I think it's so much more than that. I know sometimes when we think of purpose, we automatically go to a career or something that we do. Purpose to me is so much more than that, because purpose is all encompassing. And your purpose, pile number 1, is to believe in magic. Your purpose is to believe in miracles. Your purpose is to connect to the understanding that anything is possible. And I think for my pile number 1s, I mean, you are represented by the elephant, right? You are represented by this puppet energy, your current energy at least. I think for my pile number 1s, it's so easy to ground and to get stuck in the reality of life that sometimes it feels harder to actually believe and to connect to something bigger, something more magical, something more miraculous. And part of your purpose in this lifetime, and I would not be surprised if some of you have like a North Node in Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer. I'm getting those. It's something those could be absolutely your North Node, where your purpose is you're very good at the heaviness. You're very good at the reality of things. But your purpose is to connect and believe with equal power in miracles, in magic, and possibility. And your purpose is not only to believe in it, not only to dream it, but to create it through effort. Part of your purpose is your vision and allowing yourself to have a vision that feels bigger than what is possible for you. Because I think for my pile number ones, what's possible feels very limiting to you. And I think that you limit what you want or what you tell yourself that you want from a place of, I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to be sad. So your purpose, especially at this time, is to dream big, and then allow yourself to go for what you want and follow the spiritual guidance to get there. Because here's the thing. You are a trailblazer. Here's the thing. You will not be held down. And pile number one, for some of you have a North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, or you could have a lot of Virgo Pisces energy. And pile number one, what's happening is that your perseverance, that's not going anywhere. Like you're going to persevere and see it through, but you have to give yourself permission to go big. Go big, go bigger, go even bigger once you get there. And that's currently what you're working on. Let's take a look at how this guide is helping you get closer to your purpose. We have the Tower with Poseidon. That's a beautiful card. And we have Strength with Atlas. Pile number one. Your guide is helping you get closer to your purpose. First of all, we have the Tower card here. Anything that is not serving you, anything that is stale, anything that is a faulty foundation, anything that is no longer meant to be in your life, it's crumbling. It's coming down. And that may be very discomforting, and it's meant to be. But it's creating space. And remember, we also had the 10 of Wands here. What are you carrying that is no longer yours to carry? What are you holding on to that you have already outgrown? Because what you are gaining is space, room to create what it is that you want, and the courage to go after it. And a big message for my pile number ones is, what are you holding on to from fear? And whatever it is that you're holding on to from a place of fear, let it go. I'm sorry. I just heard like the Elsa Let It Go song from the Disney movie Frozen. Anyways, that could be a song that you listen to right now. But let that go. Because what is being created for you is space, room to grow and to build new foundations. And what you are gaining is the courage to do so, is the strength to do so. And the understanding that some things were never meant to stay for the long run. Some things were never meant to stay the same, right? One thing that is assured in this lifetime is that there will be change, there will be growth. Let's take a look at what we have. So we have some advice cards. See what we have. Clear yourself. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. So doing a cleanse, that could be a spiritual bath, that could be smudging, that could be like, I also like to do like a meditation where you either cut cords or you visualize anything that is stuck to you, any spiritual debris that is ready to go. but also really looking at what is ready to be released in my real life and how can I let that go? How can I release the hold that I have on these things? Then we have manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. And that's what you're doing. You're manifesting. Pile number 1, I would really either do a vision board or like create a list of things that you want, like a bucket list, like your wildest dreams. Start going for it. A body in motion stays in motion. Change will be created if you allow it to be created. That was a tongue twister, but you know what I mean? Like, if you want change, you got to do things differently. If you want to give yourself a shot at something, you got to be able to expand and go for it. Give yourself permission to do that. Let's take a look at what we have here. So this is a magical spell card that you can use like as an affirmation, or this could just be a message from your guide. Let's see what we have here. Psychic protection. Around me now, a shield of gold protecting me, strong and bold. Yeah, and you are protected. And you are building new foundations. That's absolutely true. There's a new beginning coming in. Make sure that you are clear what you are going to carry towards your new beginning. We are going to end the reading with this card, and I will read from the book for this one. And this is from the Lightworker's Oracle from Alana Fairchild. And we have Higher Knowing. Wow, another card about wisdom. Higher Knowing. Let me just grab the book and I'll show it to you. I just noticed that's actually the card on the cover of the book. So let's see, pile number 1. Sorry, I hadn't seen the card before you did, so I didn't have it like bookmarked or anything. Okay, here we go. The quality of higher knowing is an expression of intelligence manifesting through the 5th ray of intellectual knowledge. This spiritual ray of energy flows from the center of the universe towards your soul as a spiritual gift. You are empowered with the ability to recognize the information you need and to understand the systems that affect your soul's journey and distill clarity in any issue that has seemed unclear or overwhelming to you. You're clearing obstacles. The right knowledge at the right time is a powerful support for human evolution. Your intuition will support your intellectual mind in discerning the true quality of information and applying it intelligently in your life for the best outcome. The Archangel Raphael now assists you in integrating the blessings of the 5th ray. Any question you now shall ask shall be answered in a timely manner through the gift of higher knowing. Yeah, pile number 1. This guide is giving you answers. So whatever questions you have, connect to this guide. And I really think that for this group, like if you do automatic writing or journaling, or like if you look like through writing, something about written words and writing yourself is a very powerful way to connect to your guide. But pile number 1, that is what I have for you. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things that YouTube loves and helps me out. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments below. Stay tuned for the polls that I post on what the next video will be through the community tab, so make sure that you are subscribed for that. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Magician from the Light Seer's Tarot deck. We're going to place that right over there. As a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I did do a reading breakdown for this reading. I highly, highly suggest you check that out. It is timestamped in the description and comments below. So check that out to see if this is the reading that if this reading is going to it's going to have the answers that you're looking for. So for this reading, we're going to start by looking at your current energy. If this does not sound like you currently, try picking a different pile because the rest of this reading may not resonate with you. Or if that doesn't resonate, it could just be that this specific reading doesn't have a message for you, which is okay. So let's get started. So current energy, the Swan. Ooh, I love that. Okay. Changes. some of you are trying to you're trying to stay graceful through a period of change and a period of like just things being thrown at you unexpectedly with those two cards. And then we have macrocosm. So what's going on pile number 2 currently for you? First of all, actually, before we get into any of all that, let's talk about the signs that are here. So we have water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces with the Swan card. And then with these two cards, we have Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So if that doesn't resonate with you, that doesn't mean that the reading won't resonate. But I do know some of you really like when we talk about the astrological signs. But let's talk about what's currently happening for you. So I think pile number 2, you are currently in a very sensitive state where you may be feeling things a lot stronger than you usually do. You may be feeling like your clairsentient may be tuned up to the max. And I also feel, I really got that when I turned these two cards over. There's almost this energy of, I am trying to remain graceful. I am trying to deal with what's being thrown my way, but I'm uncomfortable. There's a lot coming my way. So it could be that you're dealing with a lot of changes, a lot of things that you're having to deal with that are almost unexpected here. Like I don't necessarily feel for most of you this is change that was expected. There's a feeling of unexpectedness to this. And I think pile number 2, you're feeling pretty creative at this time. You're trying to connect to your creativity, to your sensitivity, to your intuition. This is a group that is currently very much connected to the divine feminine. For some of you, you could be doing goddess work. You could be doing some sort of deity work as well. This is also a group that is very much connected with this card being here. This is a group that's very much connected to the universal flow. So you could be someone that is very aware of oneness consciousness. You could be someone that really truly trusts in the universe and in fate. I'm almost getting that energy of like this could be a pile where you believe in fate or you really trust and lean into that. And I think that at this time, you may be feeling overwhelmed at times and you may even be feeling a bit agitated. That's coming through, but you're trying to put your best foot forward. You are trying to make the best out of the situation as it is. And you are trying to lean into your power. And again, this is a group that you're trying to remain poised. You are trying to remain in control. And for those of you where whatever situation is happening, you're not allowing yourself to show how this is affecting you. Like you are trying to put up a front of like, I've got it together. I'm good. You could be someone that struggles when it comes to like sharing or asking for help or feeling like I don't want to be a burden on anyone. That's coming through as well. But this is also a time of heavy reflection and heavy healing. So you could be doing like actively doing healing work. And as I said, for some of you, you are working with like a deity. More specifically, I would say a goddess energy that you could be working with. And I think this is a time where your higher self, your soul, your spirit team is really calling your attention. Like this feels like for whatever reason, your spirit team, your higher self is really trying to call to you and get your attention. And I think that they're trying to do that by creating changes, by creating things that you cannot ignore. So for those of you where it feels like these things just keep happening and I can't keep up, or like I'm trying to deal with what's happening and it feels like everything just keeps like piling up. For some of you, it really feels like that's by design. Like that's how your higher self, your soul, the universe is trying to get your attention because something needed to change. Something needs to be revealed. Something is ready to come to your field of awareness is what's coming through here. And for some of you, you could have went through a period in time where you weren't feeling super spiritual, where you were feeling a bit disconnected, and it feels like your attention is being called back in. For some of you, this is an awakening, a dark night of the soul, where you are awakening to a more spiritual version of yourself, or where you are really getting in touch with your spirituality and what spirituality means to you. For some of you, either goddess Kali, Lakshmi, or Saraswati could be very significant for you. For others of you, Eastern philosophy, Eastern religion is coming through as very significant. Pile number 2, there's a lot that's being mirrored back to you at this point in time. So you could be dealing with like people that it just feels like, why are people like mirroring things back? For some of you, you could be like triggered by a lot that's happening in your life. Again, it feels by design. It feels like it was meant to. There's a lot of spirit team energy here. There's like a lot of spirits supporting you. This is a group where there's really a connection to the universe, a deep connection to the universe. Let's take a look at your current guide. So who this is. So for this energy, I did pick quite a few cards, and I'm going to try to give you as much information as possible. For this portion of the reading, I really want to encourage you to take what resonates, because different people watching, different energies coming through. So take the ones that truly resonate for you. First things first, we have Saint Dymphna. I'm sure I butchered that. If I did, someone tell me the pronunciation, please, in the comments. But we have mental health, well-being, and support. Then we have Mother Mary, purity of heart, conception, faith. For some of you, you could be doing some healing around religious upbringing, or you are redefining your connection to spirituality and religion. Take that only if it resonates. We have 5th chakra with Archangel Gabriel. We have the temple path. Yeah, this is a very spiritual time and guide for you. Pile number 2. And we have deceit. That is a creepy card if I've ever seen one. Then we have the hyena. Then we have spirit animal. Yeah. There's a lot of animal energy around you. We're going to talk about that briefly. Main guide and assigned. And finally, clairsentient. Yeah. Pile number 2, let's talk about it. So for some of you, I just want to call out that you could very well work with the energy of Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene. That is also the energy of Ishtar. So those could be part of what's coming through. I also want to say I have gotten a lot of divine feminine energy for this group and a lot of goddess energy for this group. So this also signifies if you work with a specific deity, a goddess, more specifically, this is confirmation that that goddess is a part of your spirit team and that goddess is acting as a spirit guide at this time. We also have Saint Dymphna. I believe I'm butchering that. Like, I'm sure there's a different way to say that. Again, please let me know in the comments. Be kind. But that could be a guide for you as well. But again, both of these really do represent the divine feminine. We also have the hyena. So you quite literally could have a hyena as a spirit animal. We have the spirit animal card as well. And we have Archangel Gabriel here. So that could also be one of your guides and one of your main archangels is what I'm getting. If that is the case for you, you are probably already aware of that. But let's talk about what the energies here are. First and foremost, for most of you, your spirit guide is presenting as female. This is like a feminine energy, an energy that works with the divine feminine. There is a lot of protection here for you, pile number 2. There's also a lot of spiritually guided support at this time, which to me feels like spiritually there's a lot going on for you. And I said this before we even got to this portion. I think for some of you right now, you really are working with your beliefs around spirituality, religion, and you may be doing healing around that, and you may be figuring out exactly what it is that you believe in. And you may be trying to do some healing, especially if like you grew up in a very religious upbringing that was not resonating with you. You may be sort of like gaining some sort of control back on that, or gaining some sort of like doing things on your terms, and doing things that work for you on your terms. And I think that for this group, there's a lot of seeking and finding spiritual truth and spiritual comfort. For some of you, you are exploring your spirituality. You could be exploring your spirituality through a different through a different, what word do I want to use here? Because it's modality, through a different, like if you grew up religious, maybe you are kind of experimenting with your spirituality through a different, modality. Like it's not the same exact religion, or maybe I'm stepping away from religion and going more into spirituality. But regardless of what your specific case is, your current guide is supporting you with your overall well-being. There's a lot of support here. There's a lot of love. There is a lot of encouragement. This is a guide that feels very, very nurturing, but also no BS. We're going to do what we need to do, and we are going to make sure we do the hard work. So there's a lot of nurturing and encouragement here, but there's also a little bit of like tough love of we are going to get things done. The number 3 could be very significant for this group. So you could see like 333, the number 9 coming in as well. So you could also be a life path number 3, a soul expression path number 3 in numerology. Gemini energy. Yeah, Gemini energy could be very significant here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces can be very significant here. For some of you, you are learning more about your truth and how to embody your truth and how to speak your truth. And I want to talk about the hyena, because there's a lot of like wit that comes with the hyena. There is a lot of like empowerment. And I think that right now for my pile number 2s, there's a lot that you are purposely going after. There's a lot that you are being encouraged to open up to. Pile number 2, you're being encouraged to go after a specific dream, after a specific desire. And you're also, there's something for this group. There's a lot of number 3, right? And the number 3 is about communication. The 3rd house in your natal chart can be very significant here. As I said, Gemini energy could be very significant here. Mercury could be very significant here at this time. This guide is here to empower you to speak clearly, directly from a place of love, to speak your truth, to live your truth, to take action on your truth. This guide is also here to highlight your relationship to expressing yourself. Do you allow yourself to express yourself, or do you feel the need to deflect and say things and almost like you say a truth and then you say, oh no, just kidding, and like you take it back? Or do you hold things in until you're ready to explode, and when you do, then you say it in a way that is not empowering, or that it's not how you wanted to communicate. For many of you, Archangel Gabriel is a guide at this time. I'm also getting Archangel Michael. But your guide is very supportive. And with the main guide assigned, this is one of your main guides. This is a guide that is probably going to be with you for a very long time. And I think that this is a guide that is active in your life, like constantly. This doesn't feel like a guide that comes in and goes away, or a guide that is temporary. This feels like a guide that is constantly around. For many of you, you also have a lot of spirit animals. It could be the hyena, it could be the swan, but I'm also seeing the spider. For some of you, a crocodile. Some of you could have one of the mythical creatures, so like dragon, phoenix, unicorn. Someone here has a wolf as a protector. Some of you do have a swan. Some of you do have a swan as a spirit animal. That's coming through. Some of you work with goddess Aphrodite. Some of you, what you are working with and what this guide is coming through to help you with is people pleasing. Something about your truth, something about your throat chakra. This guide is very much connected to your throat chakra as well. And your heart chakra. So the heart and the throat are very much combined at this time for this group. This guide is very good at spotting deceit and very good at discernment. This is the guide that helps you with discernment. This guide sends you a lot of information through your feelings. Your gut. For this group, the gut. Like, you feel things in your gut, and you're still learning how to trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, if something just doesn't sit right with you, trust it. You are way more intuitive than what you give yourself credit for. Some of you grew up in like Christianity, Catholicism, something along those lines, and you're doing healing around that. You are regaining your comfort when it comes to spirituality. Some of you are trying to regain your faith. That's coming through. You're in a place of transition. There's a lot of, we talked about the changes, a lot of transformation here. You are creating something new for yourself. You're closing out a chapter. In this new chapter, there's going to be a lot more empowerment through truth and words and how you use your words. Your clairsentience is growing. Your gut feelings are going to be a lot stronger. Some of you are learning how to trust your gut feeling more. The letter T coming in as very important. Some of you, your spirit guide's name is T. Starts with the T. There's a T in there. I'm hearing the name Denny. Denny, D-E-N-N-Y, Denny. That could be a spirit guide's name. That could be significant in some way. Take it only if it resonates. Some of you have a firefly as a spirit animal. Some of you have a very strong connection to fairies, a strong connection to creativity, but for some of you, your creativity was discouraged at some point in your life. It could have been childhood. You are regaining that back. I believe I said this earlier, but Archangel Michael coming through very, very strongly here as well. I'm seeing flowers, roses, white roses, red roses for this group. If you have an altar, consider placing flowers in your altar. This is a group where nature is very healing. Connecting to nature can be very helpful. Bringing in plants into the home. You could be somebody who is already into plants. That's coming through as well. A lot of you deal with discomfort through sarcasm. You're very funny, pile number 2. I will say that. Like, there's something about your wit, your just like sarcasm. You could have like a dry sense of humor. It's very like, I don't know. I think it's very funny. All right, let's keep going. So we are going to look at your relationship to your spirit guide. What is this relationship? What's going on with this spirit guide? The 2 of Swords. Yeah. The 8 of Cups. The 2 of Wands. Yep. So your spirit guide, for many of you, it's guides because you have quite a few of them, and quite a few of them are very active at this time. But your relationship to this guide is a relationship that is, first and foremost, this is a guide that is quite active for you. And I think this is a guide that is active for you and is one of your main guides, which by that, I mean a guide that is probably with you, has been with you for a very long time, probably from like birth, probably to the point where you cross over. And during that time, that guide is pretty active, meaning that at times we have guides where they kind of come in and out when we need them, or we have guides that are temporary, that they only show up for a season and then they're gone. This guide that's coming through, this support system that's coming through, is a guide that has been with you and will be with you for a very long time. Again, from probably the time you come in to the time you go out of this world. Now, this guide is here to help you empower yourself. This is a relationship where this guide really helps you when you are feeling unsure, when you are feeling indecisive, and when you are struggling with analysis paralysis. Whenever it is that you are feeling stuck, whenever you are going through periods of change, this guide becomes even more active and willing to help you. This is the guide that really assists you when it comes to connecting to your intuition and to your clairsentience and to your gut and knowing what to do next. So if you are feeling unsure, if you are feeling like you don't know what's next, it's time for this guide to come in, and that could be a very good indication that this guide is active. This guide is also a guide that comes in to assist you when it's time for you to put yourself first and when it's time for you to practice self-love. So during those difficult times where there is a transition that you have to walk away or leave something behind and choose yourself, that's when this guide is really active and really in your life. And this guide really helps you when it comes to guiding you towards experiencing new things and growing and evolving. Like whenever it's time to expand, this guide comes in. And I also think that when you're experiencing changes, this guide sometimes kind of sends those changes your way, or at the very least, this guide serves as a strong support system. This guide does serve as a protector, so if something is not going your way, if somebody's trying to pull a fast one on you, this guide comes in. This is the guide that also really spends time with the spirit animals that support you. I would not be surprised, pile number 2, if you're someone where you notice a lot of animal activity, especially if there's like increased animal activity. Like maybe every so often there's like a bird right outside of your window, or like deer show up, or like squirrels, or just like it feels like there is an uptick in animal activity. I would also not be surprised if you are someone who has a lot of pets, or someone who, like, if an animal needs help, they kind of show up in your life in some way, where like maybe you find a lost dog and you have to help it find its way home, or you have to help get help for it. There's something about animals that you're very close to. For some of you, you could very well volunteer with animals or do some sort of work that involves animals. Take that if it resonates. But let's take a look at how you can deepen your connection to this guide. How can you deepen this connection to your guide? The Queen of Swords, the Hermit. Go within. Meditate. Sorry, I moved you. In order to deepen your connection to this guide, go within, meditate, look at your beliefs, really connect to this guide. If you speak to this guide will send communication back to you. So if you ask a question, you will receive an answer. If you make a request, like this guide does show up and this guide will make their presence known. For my pile number 2s, in order to deepen the connection with this guide, also really look at your belief systems. This guide is very much connected to your gut, to your like intuition and to your clairsentience. That is one way that you can deepen your connection, really develop those areas, those gifts. And the wisdom that is already within you. You are very wise. There's a lot of wisdom available to you. The more you take advantage of that, the more you connect with this guide. Also, to deepen the connection with this guide, using your throat chakra, using your speech, and really empowering your communication style. If you have to say something, say it. Don't be afraid to say it, especially from a place of empowerment, from a place of honesty, love, integrity. You connect with this guide when you are direct, when you allow yourself to be direct. When you allow yourself to be direct and get to the point and say what you need to say, especially to someone else. Again, in order to deepen the connection, this is a guide where like writing and meditation would be very helpful. Creating time to meditate, creating time to just be, creating time to connect with this guide. For some of you, lighting a candle. I'm seeing a pink candle. Lighting a pink candle and just meditating in front of it could help you connect to this guide at a deeper level. Trusting your own inner guidance. When you go into hermit mode, you connect deeper to this guide. Any self-discovery, anytime you get to know yourself at a deeper level, you also connect to this guide. Introspection. When you introspect, you really connect to this guide. Let's look at something that your guide wants you to work on or focus on at this time. Page of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. So pile number 2, there's a few things here. Take the ones that resonate for you. First things first, your guide wants you to be kind to yourself. There is so much that is happening for you, and there is so much that you cannot quite see clearly just yet. Trust that the changes that are happening, that the transformations, that the transitions that you're going through are for the best. And trust that what you are doing is working. With the 7 of Pentacles here, it's quite possible that you're feeling impatient. It's quite possible that you feel like you're investing time and energy and you're not getting the return on your investment. Your guide is really guiding you to enjoy the process as you wait, to enjoy the journey. And I know how cliche that is. But your guide is really saying there's so much that's happening that you cannot see with the naked eye that is coming in for you. And your guide really wants you to work on surrender and patience at this time. Your guide is also really wanting you to focus on what you can see and what is already in your life. So this is a group where like a gratitude practice could be very helpful. And your guide is really saying the seeds that you are planting, you will reap those rewards. Can you trust and can you lean into trusting that and surrendering to that? Your guide is also saying it's okay to have fun. It's okay to create time for yourself and to enjoy yourself. Follow your intuition, follow what inspires you, follow what makes you feel good. Treat yourself to something nice. Do something nice for yourself as you wait. Because it feels like right now you are in the thick of it. You are in the center of a lot of change, a lot of transition, a lot of like transformation, right? We talked about that with the Swan card. We talked about that with the Changes card. Your guide is saying right now what you need to do is allow yourself to be where you are at while knowing that what you are doing will pay off and having fun in the process. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try new things, especially when it comes to learning or to actively doing something different. Your guide is also encouraging, for those of you that the like spiritual religious message resonated, your guide is really encouraging you to continue to explore that. And your guide is saying it's okay to not have an answer right away, and it's okay to take a step back and allow things to unfold naturally. And actually, it's not only okay, but it is encouraged at this time. For some of you, take on that hobby, do that thing, treat yourself with that thing that you've been thinking about. Have fun, get out. Enjoy this time because energy is going to be picking up soon. And when it picks up, like when there's a new beginning coming, when that comes in, it's going to be go, go, go. So enjoy this like time of in between. Continue to plant the seeds and water the seeds that you want to grow. For some of you, if you can, get some Reiki, or if you are Reiki certified or a Reiki practitioner, give yourself some Reiki. Or this could just be, again, meditation for this group seems to be a very important one. Let's take a look at something your guide is blessing you with. What is something that your guide is blessing you with? Six of Swords, yeah, transition. And Queen of Swords. This is your second Queen of Swords. Pile number 2. This guide is sending a blessing, and this blessing is the blessing of transition. It's the blessing of being able to walk away from something and move forward from something that was not for you. This is also a blessing of perfect timing. There's something that's coming in, something that's happening, and it's like the stars are aligning to make this happen. And I think that that's part of the changes, right? I said that at the beginning of the reading for this pile. There's something where it feels like the changes that are happening are by design because they are meant to happen. Spirit is meant to like grab your attention and change certain things. That's part of the blessing. It's Spirit leading you to where you need to be so that you can take advantage of some sort of new beginning, some sort of blessing, something that is coming your way. With the Queen of Swords here, part of the blessing is also the clarity that you're receiving. You will be receiving more clarity. For those of you that are in the thick of it, that right now it just feels like I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's up, and I don't know what's down. There is clarity coming in. Also, we keep talking about this for this group, but part of your blessing is going to be your ability to communicate clearly, to speak your truth. There's a lot of butterflies. For some of you, you do have a butterfly as a spirit animal, or again, that's speaking to the transformation that you're going through. Some of you are going to go from not being able to speak your truth or express your needs to being able to doing so comfortably, and even when there is a discomfort in expressing yourself. you're going to be able to do that. Someone here, part of the blessing, if you've been thinking about starting something in like social media or sharing something, that is going to be a possibility. There could be public speaking here as well. There's a lot of wisdom and clarity coming in and the ability to be direct, and you will find your truth. You are the truth that you are seeking, the truth that you want to embody. You're going to feel more secure, more trusting of yourself, and you're going to be able to lean into your truth and what is true for you and who you are. Like, that throat chakra is really active for this group, and the color blue is very significant for this group at this time. So working with the blue ray, the blue light, working with Archangel Michael, working with the throat chakra, very important. There's a lot more peace coming in. There's part of your gift, part of the blessing that is being sent your way is more peace, more inner peace, more harmony, more comfort with self. There is a truth about yourself, the world, and your reality that is coming your way. That is part of the blessing and part of what you've been seeking. For some of you, part of the blessing is you finding more balance between your spiritual self and your 3D or tangible self, I guess you can say. Material self. The mind and the heart are going to be undergoing almost like a fusion, more of a balance here. Let's take a look at your purpose. And when I say your purpose for this card, we're talking about the purpose that this specific guide is helping you with, and part of your purpose that is almost active at this time, I guess you can say. Let's see here, the 6 of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of the Devil card. Okay, there's a lot of healing, especially around beliefs and breaking free from things that were keeping you tied down. For many of you, these, like the things that were keeping you trapped or feeling trapped or were keeping you tied or were keeping you like feeling stuck, had to do with something that happened a long time ago. This could be childhood. This could be, for many of you, it could have been childhood or just earlier in life with the 6 of Cups being here. But this is making peace with the past. And part of your purpose at this time is feeling worthy, finding your worth, and understanding that you are worthy, you are enough, you are lovable. Also, part of your purpose is finding freedom, freeing yourself from the shackles of the past, freeing yourself from certain experiences of the past that really colored how you view the world. For my pile number 2s, your purpose right now is finding freedom and making peace with the past. Whatever happened that still plagues you, that still plays on you, that still colors your reality, that is what you are making peace with. Some of you are breaking chains to some sort of belief system. Again, I feel like for this religion, for this pile, for some of you, religion plays an important part, or there's some sort of dogma. There's some sort of like, maybe it wasn't exactly religion, but maybe it was like, this is what was true for me growing up, or this is what was presented to me as like the path I had to be on. There's something here that feels like very much that, or some sort of example of that. And you're regaining your voice. You're regaining your power. You are regaining your ability to really stand up for yourself and speak from a place of love, but also of just autonomy, empowerment, and allowing yourself to be heard. I would not be surprised if somebody is There's somebody from the past, and this doesn't necessarily, like this could be a parent, this could be a sibling, this could be somebody who was significant in your past. There could be healing here. For some of you, it could be healing with a mother or a mother figure. Others of you, it could be a father or like a sibling, but that's what's coming through. This could also be like a friendship or something along those lines. But there's a lot of healing here. There's a lot of like your purpose is healing and finding freedom and finding balance between what is healthy and unhealthy for you. There's a lot of shadow work that's happening for my pile number 2s. And whatever this shadow work is, whatever it is that you're healing, whatever it is that you're freeing yourself from, this isn't something that happened like a week ago. This comes from a while back. It's making peace with something that you've been carrying for a very long time. And I don't think some of you realize to the extent that you were carrying this. Let's take a look at how your guide is getting you closer to your purpose. We have the 9 of Wands with Bia. That's probably not how you pronounce that. And then we have the 2 of Wands. I'm not even going to try it. Let's talk about it. So, pile number 2. This guide is getting you closer to your purpose by encouraging you to go on. This guide is also really encouraging you to step out of what is comfortable and out of what you know. And we talked about this at the very beginning of this reading. Before we looked at any of these cards, I looked at that swan and I looked at that changes card. And the first thing that came through was these changes are being purposely sent your way to make you uncomfortable. They are by design and they are meant to get you to some other point in your life. They're meant to like get you on a specific path. And I said this, I feel like you're trying your best to remain cool, calm, and collected and like not be affected, but these changes are getting to you because they are meant to. And this guide is really helping you get closer to your purpose of freedom and to your purpose of healing and making peace with the past. And how this guide is doing that is by making you uncomfortable and by making you have to step out of your comfort zone. This guide is pushing you beyond your perceived limitations. Whatever limitations you perceive yourself to have, and we have the Devil card here, we have the 9 of Wands, we have the 2 of Wands. There are some perceived limitations where you may see yourself as like, this is the box that I'm in and I don't necessarily know that I can get out of this box. So I've been comfortable in my box, or I've been trying to stay as comfortable as I can, and I'm trying to ignore certain things because the swan is all about I'm trying to be graceful, but that changes card says, yeah, you're trying to be great, but we're trying to push you out of this because you're meant to be pushed out of this. So your guide is helping you by pushing you. Your guide is helping you by throwing things your way that are going to make you uncomfortable and bringing to your attention what it is that you do desire that is not within your comfort zone. And your guide is trying to help you remain open and trusting as you go through this period of time. And your guide is motivating you in the face of the obstacles that you are facing. Like, this is a guide that is pushing you, motivating you. And one thing that I do want to say is that I do think that this guide knows what you can and cannot handle. And what is being sent your way is uncomfortable, but it is something that you can handle. Let's take a look at what else we have here. So let's see what we have. We have you asked your angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So again, asking your guides for help with what it is that you need help with, asking your spirit animals, your angels, that's coming through as important at this time. Let's see what else we have here. We have the heart chakra. The answer that you seek is in your heart right now. Be open to giving and receiving love. You had the Hermit, and the Hermit is also a card of going within and finding the answers that you seek within. Let's take a look at what this is. This is a magical spell card. You can use this as a spell, you can use this as an affirmation, or this could just be part of your reading. Let's see. Stop it. Your guide said, I said what I said. Trust. I am safe. I am secure. In love I trust. My faith endures. Faith is very important. Your faith in yourself, your faith in your higher self, your faith in something outside of yourself. And I think for this pile, this group, this is a group where right now, whatever is happening, it may not be directly related to your faith, but in some way, your faith is being highlighted at this time. I actually want to repeat that because I think that's something very good that you can use for my pile number 2. I am safe. I am secure. In love I trust. My faith endures. Let's see. So for this card, this is going to be your final message. I am going to read from the book. Let's see what we have for this group. We have Divine Talents. Ooh. Let's see what that is. And this is from the Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Sorry, I didn't look at the cards before you did, so I didn't have them bookmarked, but we are here. So it says, divine talents are where your soul shines brightest. These abilities are the means for self-expression that can become creative healing offerings in our world. When you embrace your talents, develop them further, and allow yourself to be seen and heard for your abilities, you can maintain your purity by acknowledging that although your soul is the instrument, the music that flows through that instrument is divine. When you have the self-discipline and spiritual humility to refuse to identify with your abilities, you will avoid the danger of sabotaging yourself through arrogance and inflation, or becoming envious of the talent of another. Grounding yourself in your ordinariness allows your extraordinary ability to shine, amplifying the potential for your talent to be a genuine channel for spiritual love in our world. Your talents do not have to resemble those of another to have their own inestimable value. Do not be afraid to use them. Enjoy the interplay of your shining divinity and your grounded humanity. Pile number 2, I'm actually glad I read that because this is also, the throat chakra is absolutely highlighted in that message. And one thing that the throat chakra also has to deal with is creativity, speaking your truth, knowing your truth, acting on your truth, and allowing yourself to share that. So for some of you, there's a talent, there's a skill that's ready to be shared, and there's something very creative that is trying to take root. So that could also be the message. I'm glad I read that because I wasn't thinking of that specific example. But pile number 2, that is what I have for you. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do all the things that YouTube loves. I will appreciate you and love you forever and ever because it really helps the channel out. Let me know what else you'd like to see next. As far as like pick a card readings or what else you'd like to see on the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you soon. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and we'll talk later. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Mythos Magician card with Hecate on there. And this is such a beautiful card. Anyways, so this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I also did do a reading breakdown so you know exactly what we are going to be looking into because there's a lot to look into. That is timestamped in the description and in the comments below. I highly suggest checking that out so that you know if this is the reading for you. But we are going to start by looking at your current energy. And if this part of the reading doesn't resonate, it may be that this is not your pile. So try choosing a different pile, or it could just be that there is no message for you in this reading, which is okay. So we have, the bat. Okay, Batman. Then we have luxury. Okay. And we have now. Holy moly. Pile number 3. Okay, let's get started. We're going to talk about the signs. There is so much earth. This entire pile is earth so far. Like all 3 of these cards are earth. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, highly, highly represented here. And when it comes to your current energy, I think that with the bat being here, I think that you are going through... Actually, I said earth for the bat. Excuse me. I'm having a moment. Air, earth. So air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and then we have earth. But with the bat representing your current energy, you could be going through a period of letting go, through a period of the dark night of the soul. And it feels like you're dealing with like trying to find light in darkness. And I think that for my pile number 3s, you're trying to ground yourself and ground your energy into the current moment, the now. You're trying to focus in what's happening right now. You are trying to keep yourself grounded. You are trying to deal with things as they come up. But it feels like right now for my pile number 3s, you are remaining adaptable because you are adapting to what is happening in your life. And I think for some of you right now, there may be a focus on finances, or there could be a focus on like changes around finances or changes around feeling secure, or your security, or your just like your living situation. That's coming through. If that resonates, take it. If it does not, that part of the message is not for you. But for my pile number 3s, you're really in this place of like unknowns at this time, or it could just be that there's a lack of clarity happening. And it feels like you are in the dark night of the soul, and that you're trying to rely on what you can see and make the best out of what is going on, and what you can see, what you understand of what's happening for you. But there's also this desire to prosper and this desire to come out on the other side of this. And for some of you, this represents a chapter ending, where you may be at the very end of a transition, where you are like right at the beginning, but you just yet can't see that light. And I think that what you are trying to do right now, pile number 3, is find ways to move on, to move forward with your life, and to make the most out of what's left. Like it feels like there may have been changes, and this is like, well, this is what's left. This is what's here now, and this is what I'm trying to what I'm trying to deal with, and how I'm trying to move forward is by being realistic and being conscious of what is here. And there's been a release of something here. But whatever this is, whatever was released, whatever was let go of, pile number 3, I don't think you necessarily are lingering. I don't think you're holding on. Like, it feels like, yeah, that thing was there. Yeah, that thing had to go. And now I am ready for my rebirth. Now I'm ready for my new beginning. Or at the very least, I've accepted. There's a lot of acceptance here. There's radical acceptance. There is like an embracing of what is. Whatever that was, whatever didn't work out, whatever changed, whatever the case was, it didn't work out. It didn't happen. And all I can do is deal with what is in front of me. And as I deal with what is in front of me, I make the most out of the now. This is a group where you're not lingering in the past. You are refusing to focus on the past because it's like, I know I can't change it. For some of you, there was no closure with something, but you are giving yourself the closure. You are deciding like, I can't change that. I can change the future by being in the present moment. This is a group that feels very, very grounded. Again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy could be very significant here. And this is a group that is embracing this change. Even if you didn't initiate it, even if you didn't purposely put yourself in this situation, you are embracing it and you are making the best out of the changes that are happening. And you're releasing, like, I'm letting go. There's a cleansing energy here. You're not even giving yourself time to reminisce. You are awaiting your sunrise. You are awaiting that clarity, that dawn to come in. For some of you, there is an intention that you have set, maybe during like a full moon, or some sort of intention that is going to come through, and you will see like you will see a payoff from that in some way. Like you will see the results of that in some way. Only take that if it resonates, because it feels very, very specific. You're very focused on the present moment. Like you're taking care of your routines, your chores, you're doing what needs to be done. You're trying to remain grounded through chaos. And for my pile number 3s, you're regrouping. This is a time of regrouping for you. You've been regrouping in the present moment. Whatever you dealt with, you have come out on the other side more confident. Like you're confident built up. Pile number 3, let's take a look at who is your guide. So for this portion of the reading, since there are many different people watching, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. We're going to try to get as much information as to who this guide is, but only take the part that resonates. So we have Jesus with forgiveness, compassion, the spiritual teacher. We have Archangel Chamuel with our unconditional love, heart healing, self-love. And I will say this group has the energy of like, I'm putting myself first. I'm doing what I need to do for myself. Then we have community. Hostilities. Oh, very interesting. Your guide this is a protector guide. The whale. Yeah, there's a lot of healing here. Witch. Goodness me. Clairaudience. And finally, Archangel Michael. So we do have two very, 3 if you include the whale, which are very specific energies. We have the energy of Jesus, we have the energy of Archangel Chamuel, and we have the energy of the whale. Those could be energies that you work with. Those could be energies that are calling to you. Those could be part of your spiritual team. Regardless of who it is, for many of you, I'm actually getting a male guide. For some of you, it could be a female guide, but I am getting a male guide for many of you. And this guide is here to help you with heart healing. There is a very strong focus for this group on the heart chakra and heart healing and healing around relationships and connections. Your guide is I'm hearing very kind, very compassionate, very loving. This guide is connected to your heart chakra. This guide is also connected to your sacral chakra. For some of you, there is healing around a relationship with a male. That could have been a father figure, or that could have been like an important male energy in your life at some point. There could be healing happening there. This guide is very much a protector. This guide is coming through to help you swim in the depths of your feelings, of your emotions, of what is coming up for you. This guide is also really cutting through a lot of the BS. I'm seeing the sword here, Archangel Michael, the sword of truth, the sword of cutting cords. This guide is helping you cut cords with those who are no longer meant to be in your life. And I do feel for this group, there is a big emphasis on actual connections and relationships with other people. This guide is meant to help you delve deeper into your emotions, into your truth, and into your experiences. This guide that's coming in is also meant to help you get comfortable with the uncomfortable and with what you cannot see clearly. There's a lot of compassion with this guide. There is forgiveness here, and I do know that the Jesus card has the forgiveness message on there, but there's a lot of forgiveness that's coming up. And I think for some of you, this could be like forgiving another person, and whether that is allowing them back in or not allowing them back in, but really understanding that forgiveness is something that you give yourself. But also for some of you, this is the forgiveness of self. This guide is helping you connect to peace and find more peace, and helping you feel more stable, especially emotionally, like bringing more stability around your emotions. There's a lot of steadiness here, and it's very interesting. There's a lot of compassion here. We have Jesus, we have Archangel Michael, we have Archangel Camiel, and we have the whale, all of which really relate closely to peace and compassion. This guide is helping you with the heaviness that's happening right now. This guide really helps with heaviness. I will say, I feel like for this group, this guide that's coming up is a temporary guide. This is not a guide that's going to be with you for a very long time, and it feels like this is a guide that is pretty new into your life. This guide is going to be here for a specific amount of time, and then this guide will not be active anymore. This guide won't be around anymore. This guide is here to help you create. For some of you, there is a strong connection to Merlin. Some of you are very, very drawn into either Merlin or like King Arthur. But the energy of Merlin is very, very powerful for this group. Alchemy coming up as well. You are meant to alchemize a experience, and this guide is helping you do that. This guide communicates with you through, it could be music for some of you. Your inner voice as well is how this guide communicates with you. For some of you, sacred geometry is something that you work with. You could make crystal grids, or you have been thinking about making a crystal grid. If so, go ahead and make one, because I think that would be very helpful. Some of you either work with runes, or maybe you draw some sort of like symbols. Or like you may draw something like a symbol that you're not even familiar with. Someone here could have a tattoo that is like very symbolic. I wonder if somebody here has like a rune tattoo. There's something about runes that keeps coming up. Norse mythology could be very interesting. Greek mythology as well, but Norse is coming in. Pomegranates and figs are being highlighted as well. Red apples. The color red, red flowers, red roses. This guide connects with you through something like feel. Like there's something about feelings. There's something about something tangible. Some of you connect to this guide through making something. It could be food, like cooking. This guide sends messages through music. Also, inner voice. I keep getting that for this group. Inner voice. This guide really encourages you to take care of yourself, practice self-care, self-love. This guide is going to be with you as you move through self-care, self-love. Some of you could like have mala beads that you connect with, or a necklace that connects you to this guide. If you do yoga, this guide connects with you through there. Being in your body, grounding yourself is a good way to connect to this guide that's coming in for you. For some of you, this guide is a group, part of a group of guides that supports you, but this is going to be a temporary guide. There's a focus on relationship to self and relationship to others that this guide is helping you with. For some of you, this guide helps you feel more, or is trying to help you feel more comfortable in your own skin. For someone here, you could have been a witch in a past life. This guide was in some way involved with that. Either they were your guide back then, or they experienced that lifetime with you. They're coming in to help you realize your power. This is a group where I don't know if you do spell work, but spell work could be very powerful. And I always like to think of witches, and like when a witch does a spell, almost like a prayer in motion. So that's coming through. This is a group that could work with like flowers or herbs. There's something about like making something with your hands. This is a group that I think is also very, very good at cooking. I don't know why that's coming through, but that's coming through. You could be like a kitchen witch. You could be into plants. For some of you, you could be undergoing a journey of eating more healthy, or changing the way that you cook your foods, or the way that it's something around that. Again, only take the messages that resonate. As I said, this guide is a protector. They protect you from people that are not meant to be in your life, and you have undergone something around, like something activated this guide to come through, and there may be changes in your connections, in your relationships, in the people that you connect with. This guide is here to teach you how to be more compassionate towards yourself. Someone here may have lost something that was very significant. The loss could be a person, though this feels like maybe like the loss of a relationship or of a connection. This guide is helping you heal. This guide is also going to help bring in people that are part of your soul family, that are meant to connect with you, into your life. The color red, orange feel very significant for this group. For some of you, this guide is here to help you be seen by the right people, by the right opportunities. Let's take a look at the relationship that you have with this guide. Let's see what we have here. Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, and finally, Four of Pentacles. So your relationship with this guide is one that is meant to bring in clarity. It's meant to bring in answers. It's meant to create change. The sword is a very significant metaphor that keeps coming in, because we have Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael's swords cuts through the truth. we have this hostilities card, which, again, that sword. Now we have this Queen of Swords, this Page of Swords. There's a lot of swords, and the swords are all about cutting through and getting to the heart of the matter, but also cutting through the BS. And this guide is really helping you cut some cords. This guide is really helping you cut through some crap that is no longer meant to be in your life. But also, this guide is really helping you gain clarity and gain a deeper understanding about certain situations, certain people. Wings seem very significant. Pile number 3, you're breaking free. You're flying free from something, someone. But your relationship with this guide is one of self-improvement. This guide is meant to help you self-improve and help you get to the next level of your journey. There is an ascension here. And you are learning a lot of lessons, and this guide is helping you learn those lessons, but also expand your consciousness. And this guide is going to bring in new opportunities by helping you cut through the ones that are no longer meant for you or the ones that are no longer viable options. This guide is going to bring in ideas. There's going to be a lot of ideas, so be open to maybe even writing down any ideas that you receive over the next few weeks, few months even. This guide is serving almost as a mentor. That's coming through, and that's very interesting. It's like this guide is a mentor. And they may have been a mentor in a past life. For those of you that believe in past lives, this guide may have been a mentor in a past life, or it could have been vice versa, and they're paying back the favor. This guide is going to help you make unbiased decisions. Like, this guide is going to help you get out of your own way as you make certain decisions, be able to do it from a place of discernment and intellect. There's also a change in perspective that this guide is trying to bring in. And this guide is trying to help you break free. Yeah, this guide is really here to help you know your worth and know that your worth cannot be taken from you. And it's not something that you have to earn. It's not something that you have to prove. And this guide is really here to help you be in the flow with the universe. There's something about you flowing with the universe, flowing with where you are meant to be. This guide is going to help you build the life that you want to build. There's something about your words and the words that you use that is going to be very significant, especially with that witch card being here. Be very mindful and very intentional about what you say and how you say it. But this guide is here to really cut through some BS with you and get you to where you need to be and where you want to be, where you should be. Let's look at how you can deepen your connection to this guide. So we have the 10 of Swords and we have the 6 of Swords. In order to deepen the connection with your guide, I think you're doing what you are meant to be doing, because I think this is about you deepening the connection with your guide by allowing yourself to be exactly where you are. And when we talked about your current energy, I think that you're leaning into, this is where I am at. And this is also about really leaning into and allowing what has left your life or what is currently leaving your life to leave. Not holding on to the things that are ready to be released. And by doing the healing work, by allowing the deep healing to happen, and by connecting to hope and your resilience. Because here's the thing, pile number 3, you are so resilient. And this guide is saying the more you connect to that, the more our connection is stronger. Like the stronger our connection gets. And this guide is also saying you connect to this guide by moving away from that which does not serve, from that which is gone, from that which is no longer an option. And by accepting the help as you transition from the past to what your future will be. And for those of you that are like, well, how do I accept the help? This guide operates through you when you offer yourself kindness, when you offer yourself compassion, when you practice self-love, when you choose yourself. That is you allowing this guide to act through you and you honoring and connecting deeper to this guide. For some of you, you may have a necklace. It could be a moonstone or some other sort of crystal. And if that's the case, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like if this message is meant for you, you know what I'm talking about. Wearing that necklace can really connect you to your guide. Or if you feel called to, you can like get some sort of stone. It could be a necklace or not. And really set the intention that's going to help you connect to your guide. But the crystal I saw was a moonstone. It doesn't have to be. Or it could be like a necklace in the form of a moon. Or it could be something about like the moon, a trinket of some sort with a moon on it. You did choose Hecate, and she is a moon goddess. And she is represented by the triple goddess, the mother, the moon, the mother, the maiden, and the crone. I'm sorry, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Wait, I just noticed. She has swords too. Pile number 3. For some of you, if you are a practicing witch, only if that resonates, working with the athame could be very significant. Doing a ritual where you're cutting through, like maybe you cut something with the athame or whatever it is that you feel guided to do. For those of you that this part resonates, that could be a very significant ritual. But there's something here about the sword, and it could even be just like a meditation where you visualize yourself using a sword to cut cords. There's something about the sword symbolism that is very, very powerful here. But in order to deepen the connection with this guide, allow yourself to transition, allow yourself to move through this period of realignment without trying to hold on to what is trying to leave. And it's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad, right? Like that's also being highlighted here. Like you don't have to act like this isn't hurting or this isn't getting to you in some way. It's okay to be where you are at. But also don't try to hold on to these things that you have outgrown. All right, pile number 3. Let's look at something your guide wants you to work on at this time or focus on. Something that your guide wants you to work on or focus on at this time. Queen of Swords. There's so much swords here. The Moon. Not surprised to see that one there. And the Emperor. Your guide is saying it's time to focus on, first of all, it's important to create balance. And I think that you are good when it comes to creating balance. So really creating balance in your life and holding space for the planning of the future and what it is that you want, but also allowing yourself to be in this place of, I don't feel good. I am grieving. I am sad. I am overwhelmed. I don't know what's next. I can't see things clearly. I feel like I'm drowning, because you are quite deep, right? you are being taken to the depths, and you are having to explore parts of yourself and your feelings and your emotions and your psyche that you have never explored before. So your guide is really saying, allow yourself to be where you are at and be compassionate towards yourself as you sit in that space, as you exist in that space, while knowing that yes, you will come out of that. Yes, there is a new beginning. Yes, there's going to be clarity that comes in and a deeper understanding. But really, there's a caution here for my pile number 3s that your guide wants to really get to you. Because it feels like this is a group where it may be like all or nothing, black or white, hot or cold. And the message here is to allow yourself to experience the balance of understanding what requires your attention at a specific point in time. And what do I mean by that? It's okay to be discerning. It's okay to kind of just, I'm going to do what I need to do. This is where I'm at. I am going to think my way through this. But don't forget to hold space for the emotions, the feelings as they come up. And similarly, right? Or on the other hand, I guess I should say, you can sit in the emotions of it, of where you are at, and hold space for that without forgetting to be discerning and logical, and remember that you will come out on the other side of this. But what your spirit guide wants you to focus on right now is not only being where you are at, but starting to think of where it is that you are going to be going and what it is that you want to create. And that doesn't mean like come up with a plan or start doing it, but really starting to think about that. Like, what do I want tomorrow to look like? What do I want a year from now to look like? While also existing where you are and prioritizing yourself and prioritizing what you need for yourself in that specific moment. So for myself, what do I need right now? Maybe right now I just need to allow myself to cry. But I also know that I can't sit here and just cry or feel like this, that eventually I have to push myself out of it. So maybe for today, I'm going to allow myself to just lay around and feel what I feel. But then tomorrow, I'm going to allow myself to get up and do something and take care of myself. So really finding balance and prioritizing what you need at that specific time, while also trusting that you do know what you need, you do know what is required, and that you can trust yourself to take care of your needs and to know what your needs are. Pile number 3, balance is very important right now. Like finding balance and the balance that works for you, right? Because what's balanced for one person is not going to be balanced for another. I'm not here to tell you exactly what balance looks like, because that's going to be for you to discover and for you to figure out. But holding space to be where you are and being able to kind of ebb and flow as needed. And because the thing about the whale is the whale can go very deep, but the whale also comes back up, right? And that's the energy here of like, I'm going to go deep, but I don't necessarily have to stay there. Let me create that balance. Let me move through this, right? That's coming through as important. So what is something that your guide is blessing you with, pile number 3? What is a blessing that your guide is sending for you? Oh, the Sun. I love that. And the 7 of Pentacles. So one thing that, and I want to start with the Sun because that's such a beautiful energy. Some say that the Sun is the happiest card in tarot, and I have to agree with that for the most part. With the Sun being here, the Sun represents new beginnings, creativity. It represents happiness, joy, and contentment, gratitude, right? So your guide is blessing you with lightheartedness. your guide is blessing you because we have the moon, right? We have that sense of darkness. We have that bat card here. We have the whale. These are all like very dark in the sense of like they're very deep energies. And with the bat, it's like right in the middle of the night. There's no light there to illuminate. With the whale goes deep. And in this specific card, the whale is pretty down deep. And we can kind of see the light up there, but the whale is kind of towards the bottom. Your guide is sending you clarity. Your guide is sending you joy. And one thing that your guide is really saying is that, especially for those of you that are still in a place where you may not necessarily be able to see that joy, feel that joy, appreciate that joy, or even like, I don't even see when this joy is coming or how it's going to come in. Your guide is saying it's coming in sooner than what you think. And another thing that your guide is really blessing you with, a blessing that your guide is giving you, is patience. And I think that your guide is really trying to give you that blessing of patience so that you can allow the abundance that's coming in to come in. Because here's the thing, pile number 3. There is abundance coming in. There is a new beginning. There is something that's being gifted to you. I want to make this clear. Whatever left your life, whatever this change is about, whatever this transformation is about, whatever this dark night of the soul is about, this, and I think for many of you, this has to do with relationships. There is something beautiful that is being gifted to you. There is something beautiful that is being sent your way. As a matter of fact, I think for most of my pile number 3s, this change, this like transition that you're going through was to allow space for something that is more in alignment with you to come into the picture and to come through. And one thing that your guide is really sending your way is something that you can be grateful for, something that you are really going to enjoy and love. That is coming through very loud and clearly. And with the 7 of Pentacles being here, this is your guide saying what's being sent your way. You can't even see the beauty of it because you can't see it with your naked eye yet, right? You can't see it with your vision just yet. It's not in your life yet, but your guide is saying you are headed in the right direction. And the direction that you are headed in is going to be beautiful. And you are headed towards a harvest. You are headed towards the fruits of your labor. And there's an encouragement here to keep going because you are closer than what you think. And because you are moving towards your purpose. And the destination that you're moving to is exactly where you are meant to be. Like you are headed to where you are meant to be. And you've already invested time and energy that you don't even realize was being put towards reaping these rewards. Let's take a look here at how this guide is... your purpose. So we are going to look at your purpose, like around this time, what your purpose is and how like this guide is helping you with this part of your purpose. 2 of Wands, yeah, expansion. 9 of Wands. So your purpose is to break free. Your purpose is to break free from limitations that you have set on yourself or that you think exist for you. And for my pile number 3s, for some of you, you've decided that there's a limit on you. You've decided that there's something that you can't move past or something that you won't be able to push past. This could be a belief. And for many of you, this will be a belief. Like this specific thing is never going to happen for me because I won't be able to move past this. And your purpose is to break past that limiting idea. Your purpose is to use your resilience to create what you want, and your purpose is to keep going and to keep pushing through and to trust yourself and trust the universe as you do so. Your purpose right now has to do with motivation, finding the motivation to keep moving forward and using that motivation to cut through your comfort zone, to cut through what it is that you're used to experiencing and where you think you have to box yourself in, and to make progress on your future and to realize what the possibilities are for you. So, for my pile number 3s, your purpose is to break free from what you think is possible for you and realize what is actually possible for you, and to dream big and to go on new adventures and to step out of your usual routine, to step out of what you know and expand into what you don't know or what you may not know much about yet. Let's take a look at how this guide is helping you with this purpose. We have the Wheel of Fortune with Demeter. That's a beautiful card. I don't think I've pulled that card. We have the Four of Swords with Hypnos. So, how is this guide helping you get closer to this purpose? By creating change, by helping you through this change, by helping you through this transition. And this guide is helping you by also giving you the time and space to heal, by giving you the time and space to feel what you are feeling and to figure out where you are at so that you can move forward from this specific place. And this guide is helping you with your purpose by helping you transmute the shadow and by helping you heal the shadow self. There is a shadow self aspect that you are integrating and healing. There is something about yourself that was deemed undesirable or deemed unacceptable by, it could be society, culture, yourself, upbringing, anything really, that is now being integrated back in. And I think for some of you, it was self-love, or it was your relationship to connections and relationships, or how you view relationships and connections, that it is coming up for healing here. But this is also your guide supporting you on your purpose by providing healing and from giving you the time to take like a timeout almost, so that you can grow more in your self-love and that you can lean more into your self-love and that you can nurture yourself and offer yourself what it is that you need. There's a lot of intentional healing and self-care here that your guide is helping you with. And it's about overall wellness here as well. And it's giving you the space to slow down, because this almost feels like you've been taken, almost like you've been put on a timeout where there isn't much happening. And the reason for that is so that you can take a timeout to take care of yourself and to go deep and to do the healing and to integrate. But this guide is really helping you get closer to your purpose by helping facilitate the changes and the acceptance and the healing, which is beautiful. Let's take a look at some additional messages here. First message is Ascended Masters, powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over you and guiding you. Pile number 3, if there's a specific Ascended Master or a specific like deity, whoever that is calling to you that you've been wanting to work with, that is your sign to go for it. See what we have here. Crown chakra. Pay attention to your ideas as they are messages of true divine guidance sent in answer to your prayers. Yeah, there's a lot coming in. This is a very clairvoyant pile, by the way. Claircognizant and clairvoyant. For my pile number 3s, pay attention to what's coming through, especially your ideas. Really pay attention to that. Working with your crown chakra could be very helpful right now for this group as well. So for this card, this is a magical spell card, and this is something that you can use as a spell, as an affirmation, or just additional information that your guide has for you. So for this group, we have success. I love that. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor, integrity. And that's what you're moving towards. There's a lot of success coming in. And I think for this group, a lot of that success comes in with you feeling a deeper connection and having a deeper connection and understanding of yourself that then kind of spreads out into other areas of your life. So we are going to end the reading with this card here. I will read from the book, and let's see what you got. Soul Child. I love that card. That's a beautiful card. And this is from the Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Let me just open to the page. I'm sorry, I didn't look at it before you did, so it's not bookmarked. There we go. I have it. Okay, so pile number 3, your message. Spiritual rebirth is upon you, beautiful child of the universe. Your soul has been long preparing for new life, and it is starting right now. The divine moment of rebirth, well, the bat is all about rebirth. The divine moment of rebirth after a period of struggle, of intense inner work, and consequent inner transformation is here. Take your time to emerge and enjoy getting to know this new self and the new life beginning now. It is a spiritual dawn, the beginning of a fresh chapter in your soul journey, and something to be acknowledged and celebrated. Take your time to explore, to test your wings, and to take spiritual flight with a renewed sense of trust and confidence in yourself and your unique soul journey. Love that for you, pile number 3. I hope this reading resonated. Let me know what else you'd like to see next. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things that YouTube loves that would help me, that I would love you forever and ever for. It really helps the channel out. Let me know, as I said, what else you'd like to see next on the channel, and I will write it down. I know that there's been a few requests. I am writing all of them down. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I hope to see you soon. I am sending so much love, so many blessings. Bye for now.